what she said. She's magical, mystical, a powerful wonder girl.
Joining us now is Tracy Nestle, the Vice President of Communications at Rakuten Kobo Inc. And first of all, people have been loving our Books with Buzz list that you curated. First, we talked about thrilling reads, then the books we can't wait for. What are we talking about today?
Well, I thought that what we should talk about is audiobooks and books that will make the morning commute or the commute, because you got to get home too, a little more tolerable. So I've picked some pretty good examples.
Okay. And the first one?
Well, the first one I want to talk about is a classic, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold by John le Carré. There's nothing like a spy thriller, in my humble opinion, that will make you look at your fellow strap hangers a little differently, and it gives a little sizzle to the ride. The Spy Who Came In From the Cold is, as you know, a Cold War classic, and it's a story of character and circumstance and how they come together with pretty ferocious results. Now, I selected the abridged version of this book, which is just under 3 hours long. So it's something you can knock off in a day or two, or if the traffic is
Maybe
really, really
one day
terrible.
during a snowstorm. If you live in Ajax, let's say.
Exactly. And it's what they call full cast, and it's kind of like a radio play of the very best kind. I'd love for you to listen to just a taste of that.
Alec Lemus. He was there when the Berlin Wall was built. He watched it going up, so he told me, day after day, brick by brick. He said it terrified him. Well, it would. But he also said there was a kind of wartime thrill to it. He knew that feeling well enough. Me too. His blood was up. They might have called this the Cold War, but to Alec, it was definitely war. Hot and real.
That sounds amazing. Now, I love that you picked this one, and I'm thinking of the subway commute, Murder on the Orient Express.
I know, not to make you nervous about the train, but, you know, it was kind of inevitable. I like that. Maybe I just have a thing for British accents and British voices, but Murder on the Orient Express is another classic. I think it never gets old. And this one is narrated by Kenneth Branagh. So he directed the movie that was just recently released, and he's just, you know, he's such an amazing actor. It's great to listen to, and no matter how many times I listen to it, the ending is always surprising to me.
Well, always some little thrillers here. Since We Fell.
So Since We Fell is actually how I got into audiobooks.
Oh.
So I had tried audiobooks, and I thought, oh, God, can't they read faster? You know, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Since We Fell. It's by Dennis Lehane, and it's narrated by the very throaty, sexy-sounding Julia Whelan. And I just fell in love. I couldn't stop listening to this book. It starts with a bang, literally. Our main character is Rachel Childs. In the very first page, we find that she's shot her husband in the heart and watches him as he tumbles off out of the boat that they're on and into the water. And it kind of goes from there.
You could be clutching at the straps on the subway while you're listening to this. Like,
Thinking about people trapped on the GO train going, oh, okay.
Well, it's a really great book in that it starts there, and then it brings you back to how these two people got there and why what happened is the right thing to do. So it's really, really fascinating.
Okay, I can see. I listen to audiobooks while I'm walking the dog. So I can see some of these the pace would be picking up.
Well, exactly. And if that's not exactly the way you want your walk to go, or if distraction isn't quite what you're looking for on the way into work, if you want to get your game on, I highly recommend listening to The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle, and it's narrated by Will Dameron. And it's a really interesting take on what makes for a really strong corporate culture. And it's not the sorts of things that you might think. The author looked at groups like SEAL Team 6, looked at NBA champions, great companies and so on, and developed a theory that strong cultures, ones that lead to innovation, creativity, greatness, are based on really human things like trust, admitting vulnerability, and that kind of thing. It's a really great read.
Yeah, I can't see the
really a great listen. Sorry,
Really a great I can't see the connection, but creativity and vulnerability, but
Well, it really comes together because you will allow yourself to put forth a great idea, for example, if you feel like the people that you're talking to will actually listen and not judge.
won't say, "Oh, that's so silly." Don't be silly. Yeah,
Right.
You're up, but we shouldn't give too much away because we don't want
no.
to destroy the experience for
We
people.
just want to intrigue.
Intrigue.
Yes.
Now, you can find all these books at kobo.com/what she said, where you will find our Tracy Nestle curated Kobo book list. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, she said she's magical, mystical, or a power